The system hasn't even started yet, but already the British government's quarantine plans are in disarray. From Monday, anyone arriving in the UK will need to self-quarantine for 14 days, and there'll be spot checks and fines if they don't. But the pressure from within the Conservative Party and sectors like tourism mean the system might be very short-lived.
We're in a terrible mess as an industry, and we need the government to realise that quarantine measures are too little too late now. They should be relying on test and trace instead. If you look at countries around the world, the relatively successful ones with low death rates or even zero death rates, such as Vietnam, New Zealand, Australia, certainly countries which have fared better than Europe and the UK, they put quarantine measures in place very early on. And that's the best advice from the World Health Organization, to put in quarantine at the start of a pandemic, not once the numbers are really falling. So it doesn't make sense for the UK to be doing this at the moment.
Now there's reportedly a plan instead for quarantine-free air bridges between the UK and low-risk countries like Greece, Portugal and even Australia.
We certainly think air bridges are the future. They're certainly going to work by having named destinations and safe corridors for consumers to travel in. But the problem is quarantine. You can put in air bridges further down the line, but just by introducing quarantine, it puts people off. And that's the issue here. We're not being glib about the health environment or the terrible tragedy of coronavirus and the lives it is upheaving. But actually, it's about the economy as well. There may be a second wave, there may be a third wave, there may be a fourth wave, there may be no vaccine. Nobody really knows at the moment. But what we do know is the economy has to get going at some point, and people want to travel.
Once they're introduced on Monday, the quarantine measures could be dropped within 3 weeks. That would mean it's a rather token measure, given they were introduced 3 months after the lockdown came into play.